plant fam, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jacqueline. This is not my jungle, it's my kitchen, and I look like a mess. But if you're not new here, thank you for coming back. So today I am feeling a little bit better, so I wanted to do some plant chores with you guys, but mostly I wanted to talk about the 2 Albo that I got from Bee Leaf Tropicals that didn't come in looking great. And if you caught yesterday's video, you would have seen me unbox 3 more from them that look a whole lot better. So I wanted to get the first pair cleaned up and into a moss perlite mix, which I have over here. Kind of see it, I've got a lot of it, because I am going to be doing some moss poles at some point. And you really can never have too much pre-mixed. So here's what I've got. It looks kind of nasty, I'm not going to lie. I've just had them in water, just sitting here. Some of them are definitely like rotted, but I haven't taken it out yet. So as you can see, if you've missed it in my shorts, the plants themselves have definitely like perked up.
Hi, plant fam.
Hi.
How are we doing?
I didn't know what you were doing.
I just have to go to the bedroom real quick.
Okay.
Keep going.
So yeah, they haven't gotten like worse, which is good. But they still just like obviously don't look great. Like this is not looking good. I gotta cut this or just take that piece of the leaf off. So the 2 that are in here, I definitely want to get into the moss perlite. Of course, I forgot the container. I brought everything over but the container. I even have the hydrogen peroxide because I'm going to take these out. I'm actually going to rinse these off in the sink just to get like the gooey, like nasty stuff off of the roots, and then I'm going to soak them a little bit in a dish I have here of water, and I'm going to put a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there and just let it sit for a second. Are you okay, babe? Okay, so here's what I'm left with. There was definitely some rot going on here, but usually what I do is I squeeze it, and if I can like really easily pull things off, then yeah, they're probably rotted. So I'm just gonna get all the little like remnants of these rotted roots off of here. And then the purpose of the hydrogen peroxide is just to kind of clear off any of the rest of the rot that I might not notice is there. So I am just going to put a little bit in the water here. Don't accidentally drink it. And then let me turn you around and show you. It kind of like bubbles up the way that it would when you put it like on a wound, which is kind of nasty, but it's just killing off all of the bacteria and all of the fungal nastiness going on the roots here. Okay, well, I lied. You can't really tell. So I'm just going to leave these to kind of like just soak in there. I probably should have used something deeper. Just want to make sure all this nastiness is off the plant and that it's nice and disinfected. I just need to go grab a container because I forgot one. Okay, so apparently I only have this really big one. And I don't want to put it in this really big one, so I'd like to put it in this smaller one like I did with this Monstera Aurea. That is ready to come out of here, definitely ready to come out of here and go into like just like a regular chunky aeroid mix. So I'm going to take this one out of here and put the Albos in this one, and then I'm going to go and order more of these off of Amazon because apparently I don't have any left. I don't really know what to do with these roots down here. Just kind of gotta like untangle them maybe so that they can come out of the holes without breaking. I'm sure some of them will break, but we don't need all of them too, because some of them have then gone back up in, rooted in there. Oh. So let's see if I can pull them all out. All right, that should be good. I haven't taken this out of here since I got it a while back, so as you can tell, I'm sure It's very much rooted in the moss and the perlite. But this is the size container I need. Look at those roots. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna place that in the larger one for right now. I don't think it even needs to go in such a large pot, but that's all I have. I mean, I can very well just kind of leave it like that until they come in the mail, but it just doesn't look very good, does it? I don't know. I gotta see like what the root ball actually looks like when I take it out of there. Maybe this is like not a bad up pot. That's just kind of a lot of, that's more than an inch or two of like, I don't know. You guys let me know. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Okay. Okay, I love how I have my repotting mat, but I didn't unroll it and put it down. I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna turn you down and show you what I'm doing. So for those of you who missed the update, I can give you a little update on what happened after I reached out. Obviously, they were very apologetic. And they wanted to, you know, send me the rest of my Albo and give them a second shot to like do it right. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, that's what I wanted to do anyway. So I did unbox 3 more. They sent me an extra to make up for these first 2 that don't look right, which I thought was very nice, and they're very, very sweet. So yeah, they were very responsive and very kind, and you can tell they just care. They genuinely care. So I'm gonna dump this out and give these a good rinse again. Me and my wheelie chair. Okay. I have this like thing around me. Don't judge me because my back has been hurting. Okay, so I'm just gonna see, let me turn you down. I got this. All right, I think that works, right? I guess I'm just gonna plop them in here. It doesn't really, I guess I can put them like back to back is good, or like both facing the same way. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna put a nice little layer on the bottom here. So I pre-moistened my moss and rinsed the perlite, and I just kind of mix it all up in a bowl. Makes it easier. I'm just gonna hold these here in place where I want them to be. And I'm gonna fill it up the same way I would if I was repotting it. And this is basically how I root all of my Monstera and a lot of my plants in general. I do like to get them started in water once they're nice and starting to root, like showing signs of roots popping out or like a little bit of root popping out. Then I move them over to a moss perlite mix like this, and a clear container so I can watch the roots like you saw with that Aurea. And then when it's ready, it goes into its soil. And I will still fertilize it the same way in moss, water it the same way. I treat it the same as the rest of my plants. You might have to water it just like a little bit more frequently in regular room humidity because the moss is going to dry out fairly quickly. Or if you're keeping it in a very hot, like warm space, it's going to dry out fairly quickly as well. So that should be good. So as you can see, just a nice mossy perlite mix. I do go heavy on the perlite for aeration. Monstera roots really seem to love that. Let me turn it back up just a little bit. not all the way, just so you can see the plant. This is what it's looking like. Not great, not the best. I am gonna cut some of this like brown off of some of these leaves here, which you can do if you want to, or you can just leave it be. I just don't think it really does the plant any good, and it can spread, so we are gonna just do a little bit of surgery on here. And I do usually spray down my scissors with like alcohol before I do stuff like this, just for the record. Yeah, just trimming off some of the brown can help the plant like just look a little bit better, especially if it's tips, little brown tips. You hardly even notice that the tip is gone from the plant. Your brain sees the brown and recognizes that as like bad more than it sees part of the leaf missing as bad, if that makes sense. So aesthetically, sometimes it just looks better to take some of these little brown bits off, but definitely sterilize your scissors before you do something like that. So I am just gonna leave this sad guy like this because he is photosynthesizing for the plant, even though he looks really bad and lost most of his leaf. He is working on a new one. It's hard to tell from that side. There's a new one that looks like it wants to pop out right here. I know it's really hard to tell, but it's right here. There's a little, what I call a leaf nubby. It's pregnant, popping out. And same with this one, like the new leaf. This one's not even fully hardened off yet down here. But I think it's gonna be like still kind of okay once it does. It just lost like this one side of the leaf. This one is definitely the most damaged. I can just like kind of cut most of this leaf off, but I don't know if I want to. I might just see what happens if it continues to spread or not. It doesn't seem to have been, so I genuinely just don't know. But it should do really, really well for me in this mossy perlite mix. I can leave these linked down below on Amazon for you guys if you're interested in snagging them. I know people are always asking me where I got them because it can be really hard to find the deeper ones. Usually they're very shallow. Obviously this is more of like a 5-inch and this is a 4-inch, but like look at the difference in the height on that. Like that's crazy. It's almost double the size. I mean, it's a little bit smaller, but still, you know what I mean. So that and like Chinese food containers actually work really well because they're a little bit taller and skinnier and you can just like put your own holes in them. So that is the first 2 Monstera Albos that I got. I will definitely be keeping you guys updated on how those are doing. The other ones that I want to take care of today, this is a different Albo that I got from Derek over at Plants with Dirt, and I just need to make sure that I actually have a cup to put this in. Maybe I need to clean off these roots too, but this is just a different Albo mid-cut that's rooted that I want to get into a moss perlite mix as well. I just need a proper container for it. Okay, so I cleaned off the roots and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill the bottom of this cup. I'm just reusing a drink cup. And I'm going to basically just pot it up the same way I would pot up any other plant. Just got to make sure that it's actually like in there good. Definitely recommend if you're going to buy Albos, make sure that they're rooted. They're a real pain in the butt to root. So that's why I wasn't really hesitant to snag this one since it's rooted. And there's no drainage in this, but it doesn't really matter. I just have to be conscious of how much water is sitting in here. When I do water it, it won't need to be watered for a while because this is very moist. But that's literally it. There's nothing I could do to like make this one not look dumb. It's just gonna look like this until it starts to grow from somewhere. So hopefully it'll just keep on rooting up really nicely in this cup for me. So that's really all that I do with my plants. Turn it back up. Hi. So that's really all I do with any of my plants that need to be rooted, anything that needs to be rehabbed. This is how I treat my imports. I always get them in, clean them up, check what's going on with the roots, clean up anything that might not look good, and then throw them right into water and leave them in water for like a few weeks until I start seeing like healthy roots. So since these Albos had some healthy roots already, I didn't really need to wait long. I just pretty much threw them in water to rehydrate them because they were looking really limp. And I don't know if you guys remember, but one of these leaves was just like completely folded over itself. You see it still kind of has a crease there, but it straightened itself out. So it's definitely looking more turgid and like more happy and healthy. Aesthetically, it's just kind of gross. So, yeah, I always throw them right into water to rehydrate. Is always a really great idea when something's been traveling for a long time and it's bare root. So obviously if it's potted up, I water it if it's dry. But if I get it bare root, I always throw it into water for at least like the first 24 hours. These I had in water for like about a week. And then now we have them in moss perlite. And I can come back in a couple weeks or so and give you guys another update on how these are doing. We're definitely going to need to repot this. I just feel like I want to order smaller. Actually, let me just get in here and see. Screw it. It's a whole Monstera chore video. Since I already have a bowl of moss perlite here, I might as well try and get in here and see what's going on. Let me tilt you again. Okay. These roots are crazy, but I want to be really gentle and just try and get in here and get as much of this out as I can because I really don't want moss hanging out on the roots of these plants. And these are not delicate roots. These are Monstera roots. So it's not like when you leave a Hoya in moss for too long and it's like an absolute nightmare. These are nice, thick, juicy, healthy roots. Look at those roots. It's gorgeous. So satisfying. They look like noodles. Yummy, yummy noodles. So I'm just going to keep on getting in here and gently like just trying to tickle the roots and get as much of this off as possible. Okay, wow. Do you see these roots? I think I've got them mostly free of moss. We did lose some root. That's what I've been picking out in here because I will reuse this moss. And this mid-cut actually didn't have as many roots as I thought, so we'll be putting this back into a cup, and I'll reuse some of this mossy perlite because it is perfectly fine. It's not moldy or anything. I just don't want a bunch of like roots in here that are just gonna like rot and make it nasty. So I don't know. I guess this is a fine pot for it. If I just don't pot it all the way to the top, I'll just like pot it down low. It's like really the only thing that I can do right now, and if I change my mind, I can always pot it back down, but I think if I just pot it lower down in there, it should be fine. And just don't fill the whole thing up with soil, which I need to grab. So I've still got some Fox Farms in here. I'm just gonna dump it out. There's not a lot left in this bag. I'm gonna use the rest of this up. This is the Fox Farm Ocean Forest. This is what I've been using instead of the Espoma lately. And then I have my Better Grow Orchid mix. This one you can snag at Lowe's or on Amazon. And I'm gonna make it pretty chunky. I don't think I have any chunky perlite. I might have a little bit left. I gotta grab some more. We'll just dump whatever's left of my Soul Soils chunky perlite. You guys know how much I love this stuff. I'll leave it linked down below for you, although this is not, that's mostly just powder. That's fine. I'll just put a little extra bark in there just to make sure it is nice and chunky for this plant. Monsteras love to be in a nice airy mix. And then we're just gonna pop this guy up. I'm gonna put a nice layer of this chunky stuff at the bottom here. And like I said, we just won't pot it all the way to the top because it just doesn't, ooh, that's moss. It just doesn't feel necessary to have it in such a big thing right now. We can always repot it and readjust it later down the line. Need some more. Super chunky. These roots like to breathe for sure. Just make sure they're all buried in there. Some of these aerials start pretty high up. Those are big holes. Okay, and you guys know I like to put some bark on top just for like the look of it. The charcoal and stuff. I just think looks better. And that's my Monstera Aurea. Let me turn you back up. So there she is in all her glory. This is the one that I imported. This was a cutting that I got from someone else. I did kind of want to separate them anyway, so this worked out completely fine. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a good water, and then we're gonna find its home. I'm not mad about it. So we've got the Albo that's gonna perk up and be totally fine, and then we've got my Aurea that we managed to repot today as well. And then this other Monstera Albo cutting that will hopefully root up really nice for us. But I'm proud of us. Hopefully you guys got some chores done today with me as well. I apologize if you can hear banging. There's construction going on downstairs. And if you enjoyed hanging out with me today, you should give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. There's a join button down there if you want to be part of the official plant fam. Get yourself some perky perks, all of that good stuff. If not, there's a super thanks button if you want to super thanks me. But you guys already know that the best way to support my channel is to go and check out my shop. I'll be restocking at some point next week, so stay tuned for that. But definitely go and see if there's anything that you're interested over there. So yeah, that's it for this video. I love you guys so very much. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are out there in the world. Don't forget to spread kindness. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!